My name is Jamar, and this is my blog, Love Not Hate One at tumblr.com. Love spelled as LUV, and I have a great guy that's actually inspiration. His name is Charles Decker, and he is part of the Local 33 for the Yale grad students here. They have been fighting for a union for over 20 years, right? 20 years, and they finally got an election and won that election. So right now they're out here at 33 Wall Street in New Haven, Connecticut, right on the Yale campus in front of President Salave's office, striking, having a hunger strike to get their attention on negotiating this contract. Yale has been neglecting on negotiating this contract. So I'm going to ask my friend a few questions here just based on that matter. And so why do you, I was wondering, because a lot of people, their excuses is like, oh, they work at Yale, they're fine, you know? So could you like explain to them why it's so important for Yale grad students to have a union here at Yale?
Absolutely. As you mentioned, we've been fighting for a union here as a movement for 25 years. I've been organizing for the union the entire time I've been here, all 6 years I've been here, and you know, yes, in a lot of ways, of course, we are extremely privileged to be studying and teaching and learning here at Yale. At the same time, there are issues that we face as graduate teachers, and these are issues that need solutions, and through my years of advocating on campus, it's become crystal clear to me that the only way that we're actually going to get the administration to act on them is to have a union contract, to have a formal seat at the bargaining table so that we can negotiate over the conditions of our work. I mean, just to give one example, the reason that I've been fighting so hard for this is because I've tried every other way that I know how to tell Yale, to tell the administration right over there that their record on racial equity here on campus is completely unacceptable. There are a couple thousand grad students here at Yale, and out of that number, I'm one of only 32 who are black men. You know, it's hard to be a black man here at Yale. Actually, it's this weird situation where simultaneously you stick out like a sore thumb, but also like you're made to feel invisible when you speak up and say, you know, things need to be different.
Okay.
Are these people chanting behind us?
Yeah. All day. I didn't know they was going to strike right now. That's awesome, though.
Negotiate! 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 Negotiate!
Oh, wow.
Inside in the house.
Wow. This is amazing.
Gene in the house, that means trouble for Salave.
It's been 20 years trying to get this election. On the election part, what do you think was the difference that helped you guys win this election, get recognized?
Well, you know, we had been asking Yale for several years now for a voluntary election process.
Yeah.
So the NLRB law before, without getting too technical about it, it said that university administrations don't have to recognize graduate teacher unions at private universities. Now, that decision was overturned last year, and as soon as the decision was overturned, we filed for the elections with the NLRB, which was our first opportunity that we had to do that. And NLRB elections are, you know, they're complicated, they're bureaucratic, they're very difficult to win. But, you know, we saw our opportunity and we took it, and, you know, the departments who knew for sure that they were ready for a union filed. You know, 9 of them had elections, 8 of those departments won those elections, and won them. I think the overall amongst the departments, we won by something like a 3-to-1 majority. So the consensus is overwhelming, as it has been, and just with the NLRB decision changing, we finally had, you know, a chance to prove it with the sanction of a secret ballot and the federal government. So I think that was the difference in terms of the actual elections. And we had every expectation once we won those elections that Yale would come and negotiate. I mean, Yale has been saying for years, the law says we don't have to recognize you, so we won't. If there ever were a time when the law changed and the NLRB sanctioned your elections, of course we would negotiate because we would have to.
Yeah, yeah.
And yet we find ourselves in a situation where now we have one of those elections. Those elections have been certified. The legal process is over. Yale is just delaying until Donald Trump, their plan is to have Donald Trump overturn that precedent once again, so that Yale can just point to that legal situation and say, well, now the federal government says we don't have to do it anymore. So, bye guys, because Yale is supposed to be, this bastion of liberal education, and that's, I think, very much how they see themselves and how they want to be seen by the world. They promoted the climate march in DC, big. They're talking against Trump being anti-climate change and being anti-science, and so they're trying to align themselves right in the liberal mainstream. And yet, when there are workers on their very own campus who have won a federal government sanctioned process saying we want a union, and they just decide, well, I guess unions are good everywhere else, but not here at Yale.
Not here,
so.
yeah. Okay. And my last question. So someone told me that Salovey. Well, I think it was actually at the last rally that was in front of his house. Someone said that Salovey walks by and he explains that he is very worried for you guys. Are you by any way swayed by that?
Well, he hasn't told us that personally. All that we've heard from him is in these emails that he sent out to the entire campus, and in both of the emails he's sent, he's ended it by saying something like, my primary concern remains for the health of these students, which, okay, but the thing is, if our health is his primary concern, there are two things I could think of that would actually do something about that. One is that he could actually come by and visit us, which he hasn't yet. We see him walking up and down Beinecke Plaza every now and again, and just looking at the ground, shuffling by, not even looking in our direction.
Oh my God.
Is thing one. And then thing two, obviously, if he's worried about our health in the fast, there's an extremely simple way for him to end it.
Yes.
And he has the power to end it. He has the power to end it anytime he wants. And he has not made that decision yet. We're very hopeful that soon he will do his legal and moral obligation and follow the law and negotiate with us. But until he does, we're right here. Yep. He knows where we'll be when he needs to come find us.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamar.
Well, this is Love Not Hate.
We'll be